This episode is brought to you by Lifellock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Nick.
This is Fish Jelly.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Okay. I have my Di Serono on the rocks.
Yeah, I'm drinking.
We're recording this well before the podcast drops on Sunday. So if anything major happens, we'll just have to catch it on the rebound.
We're just going to pretend it didn't happen.
Or pretend it didn't happen. But to start...
Which sounds like the title of a Mary Higgins Clark novel.
To start, the Black Movie Hall of Fame released its list of the 100 best Black movies ever made. And the intention was to create a list that exemplifies the Black experience and that's curated entirely by Black film critics. So I thought it might be fun to go through. We're obviously not going to go through all 100 films, but just some that stick out, and I would recommend people check it out. I'll include a link to the list in the description for the podcast. And before we go through the list, just some fun facts. The oldest movie on this list is Within Our Gates from 1920. The newest movie on the list is Sinners from this year. Filmmaker Spike Lee directs the most titles on the list with 5 films.
That seems apt.
Yeah. Sidney Poitier stars in 6 titles, more than any other actor or actress. That also seems apt.
Sure.
Denzel Washington is second with 4 titles. There are 9 titles directed by women on the list.
Oh.
Yeah. The list includes 6 documentaries, 2 animated films, and 2 made-for-TV movies.
You know, that reminds me, I think Spike got a lot of heat when he put out a list, because he taught a class somewhere, I don't remember, but he put out a list, his own personal list of the 100 greatest films or something, and there weren't any women on them. And,
Dang.
You know.
Eugene Palcy is the only woman director with multiple titles, too.
Oh, so she's probably got Dry White Season, and I'm forgetting the name of the other one, but yeah.
And then Melvin Van Peebles and Mario Van Peebles are the only father-son director duo with titles on the list. So we can just start from the bottom and go up, and then you'll obviously know more than I do. So I guess things that pop out. I will say number 100 is The Princess and the Frog, which was controversial because people didn't like the score you gave it. You just said it was fine.
It was fine, but I didn't love it.
I still haven't seen it.
It's okay. I mean, I feel like that's important for children. I don't know, you know. I'm a grown man, but it's fine. It's got some sweet moments. The little black girl is a frog for most of it. However, let's not forget that. Anyway, I'm automatically in the first of the first 90. I'm surprised that at number 99, Black Girl by Ousmane Sembina is at 99. To me, that should be a lot higher, but that's just my personal opinion. I haven't seen The Learning Tree, and right behind you, it's sitting in a stack of Criterion that I need to watch. But yeah,
at number 97.
And I don't love Guess Who's Coming to Dinner at 95. I mean, it is culturally relevant for many reasons, but to me that's a movie that was made to make white people comfortable. In my mind, but Sydney plays an impossibly accomplished human to be able to appeal to these white people, so they can be like, yeah, of course somebody like this should marry our daughter. He has 35 degrees and makes oodles of money. He would never do anything wrong.
Number 93 is Precious, which of course is
maybe controversial. I still think there are a lot of very interesting things about that film.
Number 91 is The Spook Who Sat by the Door, which we have a podcast episode for. Number 90 is Daughters of the Dust, which we also have a podcast episode for.
Yes.
Number 89 is Paris is Burning, which we have a live YouTube review for.
That's
and
right.
I think that's a perfect documentary. It is directed by a white lady. I think that's important to note, that I was surprised to see that Many of the films on the list are not directed by Black people.
Yeah, well,
But-
I mean, historically, film, there has not been space for Black people to be in control.
And because of that fact, I think that their importance to Black America shouldn't be diminished.
No.
So I think it's reasonable to have them on the list.
I agree. Oh God, Cotton Comes to Harlem, Ossie Davis. That's a lot of fun. Killer Sheep. I mean, that's receiving a restoration this year. So finally, that'll be a little bit more available for
Number 86 is Bamboozled, which I know we have a review for.
We do for the Criterion Blu-ray back when we were doing that.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Tuki Buki sound familiar to me?
Because that is directed by Matty Diop's uncle. And that is also sitting right behind you in a stack
Oh.
of films that I've never seen. I have seen something by him. But to me, that almost seems like an event that I need to sit down and watch it for. Jabril Diop Mambeti, but I believe that's Maddie's uncle.
Number 79 is Crush Groove, which I know you watched to prepare for an article you wrote for Spin.
Yeah, on the evolution of hip hop in film.
We have not reviewed Introducing Dorothy Dandridge, which I'm surprised we haven't.
You know what? I've actually
It'd make a great Patreon.
Yes, I've actually never watched that. I remember we had HBO as a family when it came out, and I saw clips of it all the time because they advertised it everywhere. And her dipping her toe in the pool, and it just, I think as a kid, like I was in 8th grade when that came out, and it just seemed too kind of painful to watch.
Well, I think Lady Sings the Blues is.
Well, I saw that much older.
A little
but,
more. Yeah, well, yeah.
So, I was a little more prepared for the bitterness of the world. But I always say this every time we bring up Lady Sings the Blues, which is directed by Sidney J. Furie, also a white person. One of my favorite opening segments in a film ever is the opening credits of Lady Sings the Blues. Amazing.
Number 77 is Purple Rain, which we have a Patreon review for. And I can see why it's on the list. I think that the movie and Prince's performance are a little laughable, but the soundtrack you can't argue with. Number 73, Hotel Rwanda.
I've never seen that. I own it on DVD too.
I have a very distinct memory of watching that movie. And of course, I like James McAvoy, so I think that's partially why I remember.
I think that was when I haven't seen it, but that's when I had an awareness of Sophie Okonedo from that film.
Oh, sure. Number 71 is House Party. We have a review for House Party 2,
mm-hmm.
but not House Party. We've seen them all, but
we did. Well, no, not all of them. I don't think I've seen 3 or 4 actually.
You haven't seen 3 or 4, but House Party 2 we reviewed as part of a live poll.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Because we were doing sequels, and we around that time you and I for fun watched Class Act.
Which is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then surprisingly, we don't have a review for New Jack City at number 70.
That's an excellent
That would
movie.
make a great
and that's
live.
Can you believe that is Mario Van Peebles' debut film? It seems crazy.
That film to me should be higher. Well, for my age range, that is like, that was that's a film that like in my adolescence was a huge deal.
That should be higher up. I know you haven't seen Black Orpheus, but that's at number 63. That should be higher up as well.
Number 62 is Hollywood Shuffle.
Also should be higher up. I love that film.
Number 59, A Rage in Harlem, which is iconic.
Oh my God, Regina.
We have a review, I believe a podcast episode for number 56, Devil in a Blue Dress.
Yes. I can't remember. Did we do a poll on that?
No, that was a podcast selection for Black History Month.
Okay.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
But we definitely have a review.
Rage in Harlem, I don't know, I said I'm drinking. Robin Givens is very alluring in that. And it's based on a Chester Himes book, which if you haven't read any Chester Himes, who's kind of like one of the most notable people in what's that that black lit, is it urban lit? Is that what it's called?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Number 54 is Straight Outta Compton, which was a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
Number 53, Waiting to Exhale. We have a review with the DSM podcast ladies.
We do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is also, I think, an excellent selection. And then 52 is Set It Off, which we also have a live review
Yes,
for.
because we saw a screening of it at the Arrow. That's why we reviewed it. And the casting director was there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You mentioned Sweetback's Badass Song often. That's number 51.
You and I watched it because of Criterion putting out that lovely. I think it arrived the week he died, Melvin.
Yeah.
But we watched it. Don't you remember? Because the opening is very disturbing. Because he's like a teenage boy, and that woman is
Having sex.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. Number 47 is What's Love Got to Do with It? We have a live review for that.
Yeah,
That's iconic.
Isn't that directed by Lynn Whitfield's ex?
We have number 46 is Love and Basketball. We have a podcast episode for that. And I recall enjoying that movie.
Yes, I do too. That's Gina Prince Bythewood's. Is that her debut?
Number 44, we were just talking, Lady Sings the Blues.
Yeah, I guess that's in a fine enough space.
Number 43 is In the Heat of the Night. We have a Patreon.
Yeah, you just watched that for the first time.
Yeah, which I thought is, if I'm recalling, because my memory is atrocious. I recall enjoying that film.
I think it's weird that is Island in the Sun the Dorothy Dandridge, Belafonte, Joan Fontaine movie?
I don't know that one.
From 57.
Oh, someone needs to make that a Patreon.
Hold on, I think that's what I'm thinking. James Mason. Okay, I'm double checking. Yeah, that's Dandridge. Because my introduction. So I never started introducing Dorothy Dandridge, but my introduction to Dorothy Dandridge was Carmen Jones, and of course became fascinated. And in the back of my mind is that conversation with that old white lady and Wesley Snipes in Tu Wong Fu. Malaga, Tamago,
Malaga.
But Island in the Sun at 42, seems strange to me because I've seen that once years ago and I did not love it.
Oh, interesting. I'm not recalling She's Gotta Have It. I know it's a Spike Lee joint, right?
Yeah, his debut, but that's before School Days. You know what? I watched that for the first time recently because he turned that into a series on Netflix as well, and I have not seen the series.
Oh, that's right. Of course, I know number 40, Selma by Ava DuVernay.
Yeah, Black Caesar with Fred Williamson. That's a lot of fun.
Number 38, Soul Food. Do we have a review for Soul Food?
I don't think we do, but I've watched it with you.
Oh, we did watch
Michael Beach, who's in Michael Beach is in so many things. You and I think it was February of 2009. So it was Black History Month 2009. And I remember we rented Lilies of the Field.
I'm embarrassed to say I don't quite recall.
You liked it with he's helping those nuns build that church, Sydney.
Wow.
He won his Oscar
I don't
for it.
recall a single thing.
I remember you liked it. He won his Oscar for that. It's a good film. It's of course incredibly notable.
Number 36 is Eve's Bayou. We have a live YouTube review for that.
We do. Lovely Diane Carroll. Even though I remember talking at length about, because a lot of people apparently think she was too beautiful to be cast in that, but I don't know. I mean, she's so transfixing. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like Tiana Taylor in that Tyler Perry movie Straw. It's like, I don't care that she doesn't look this role. Like, I just like looking at it.
Number 33 is Menace to Society. That's iconic.
That is iconic.
Number 32 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which we have a Patreon for.
We do. That's a little high on the list for me, but I know that probably many people disagree with that. I haven't sseen Glory at 31 since I was a small child. That's Denzel's first Oscar. And I've been wanting to show you City of God at 30. Fernando, I'm just going to say his last name wrong, Moraes. That is an excellent film.
Number 29, Watermelon Man. We have a podcast episode.
Do we? I don't think we do.
We talked about it, didn't we?
We talk about it all the time because I randomly put it on one night.
I highly recommend Watermelon Man.
Sluts, all of you sluts. Soon you'll be smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, I mean, talk about like subversive and edgy.
Melvin Van Peebles, yes,
from 55 years ago.
With what's his name, Godfrey Cambridge. As
thinking about, we reviewed a movie I think in 2024 about the magical Negroes. The society.
Oh, the book of with Justice
and Nicole Bayer and
yeah, that was terrible. The book
of David Allen Greer.
The Book of Magical Negroes.
I think it's the association of.
Oh God.
Either way, I just felt like, I mean, that movie did not work for me. But just thinking like, gosh, Godfrey Cambridge in Watermelon Man from 1970. I mean, that's something to talk about.
So far ahead of his time because he plays a white man that becomes black, and he's of course married to a white woman. It's Estelle Parsons, and nobody knows how to deal with it. But that movie quite bluntly deals with the whole gamut of what that experience is, including that Swedish lady he works with that is fetishizing him for being black.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 1970.
Number 27, The Five Heartbeats, which of course makes me think of
Cuba.
is Cuba in The Five Heartbeats?
Oh, that's my memory of it. Am I wrong?
Wait. Oh God, now I'm
Are
embarrassed.
you thinking of Beyonce?
No, I'm not thinking of that. Fighting Temptations. No, I'm thinking of isn't that with Halle Berry and Vivica A. Fox where they're fighting over the same man?
That's Why Do Fools Fall in Love.
Oh, I'm canceled. Sorry.
I'm Mrs. Frankie Lyman.
The Five Heartbeats is with Cynthia Bailey's
Leon.
Oh
yeah. So now, I don't know why am I thinking. Who am I thinking
I'm
of?
so embarrassed that I didn't know that because I recently rewatched The Five Heartbeats. Like I put it on and sat through most of it.
I put it on recently because it was going to expire on Max, and I'm like, I'd never seen it. But yeah, Leon, Robert Townsend. I'm thinking of something else similar with Cuba. And then Teresa Randall, who never really took off the way she should have.
Okay, number 26 is A Raisin in the Sun from 1961, but number 25 is Dreamgirls. I don't think Dreamgirls should be above A Raisin in the Sun.
Absolument pas. No, A Raisin in the Sun. Lorraine Hansberry's play, I think, has aged even better. And the things that they talk about in that film, and that's 1961, those conversations are still being had today. Dreamgirls by Bob
Well, I rewatched
Bill
Dreamgirls a month ago, and I talked about it on Patreon, and I don't think it's the best movie.
It's okay.
Beyonce's performance is not great.
I just sent you an Instagram post, and you never commented on it because I didn't know if that was true. But Eddie Murphy recently related some story on the set of that.
An interviewer asked. So I didn't comment on it, but I did watch that portion of the interview. An interviewer asked Eddie Murphy, you've worked with Beyonce on Dreamgirls. Do you have any memories of Beyonce? And he's like, honestly, I was going through a lot during that period, so it's all a blur. The only thing I remember is I was in the audience or like on set watching Jennifer Hudson and Beyonce on stage doing a performance, and they took a quick break, and Jennifer Hudson's like,
she was ashy.
Her knuckles were ashy, so she was licking her fingers trying to, moisturize her knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
And Beyonce stopped her and said, "Oh no, I'm gonna get you some cream for that."
She said, "Oh no, girl."
Yeah, don't do that. I'll get you some cream. Which then makes me think of Maria Bamford talking about, I got some cream. If you need any cream, I got some cream. God. Okay, number 24, Friday, iconic.
Yes.
23, Hidden Figures.
You've never seen that, have you?
I actually have not seen Hidden Figures.
Okay. So I think as a film, it's fun. I think Janelle Monáe is giving Marilyn Monroe face in that. She's beautiful. Octavia and Taraji are a lot of fun. But I was again talking about a white director, what's his name, Theodore Melfi or something. I was so disappointed because there's a scene in that where Kevin Costner beats down this sign outside of a bathroom that says, I don't remember if it was for colored only or for white. He beats down that distinction from outside of the bathroom because part of the thing is Taraji has her character. The scientist she's playing has to walk in ungodly ways away to go to the facilities, and that never happened. And Theodore Melfi, I've said this before, I'm sure many times, because it annoyed me so much because he said, like, we have to show white people doing the right thing. And it's like, not if they weren't doing it then. You don't just get to rewrite history like that. I hate that. So I think Hidden Figures is a very well-intentioned film that is worth seeing for these three ladies, but it is lying to us.
Number 22 is Shaft, the 1971 version.
The first one's great. Shaft's big score. The sequel's okay. Shaft in Africa's trash.
Number 21, Richard Pryor live in concert. I can see that. 20 Boys in the Hood, iconic.
Yes.
19 American Fiction. I think that's a little high.
That's a little high for
me.
that, even though I really like it, but it's a little high for that.
Number 17, OJ Made in America, that 8-hour documentary.
That actually could be higher. It is.
That is amazing.
That is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen.
Number 16 is Ray. Jamie Foxx did give a hell of a performance.
That movie, that's high for that movie, and that's Taylor Hackford.
I do think it's high. 14, Hoop Dreams. Do we have a Patreon for that?
You skipped over 15 though. Superfly is super iconic, and we're going to be talking about Ron O'Neal in a second for this week's 5 on the Black Hand Side. Ron O'Neal was amazing, a dreamboat, a lovely person.
Number 14, Hoop Dreams. We have a Patreon for that.
Mm-hmm.
13 is an excellent movie.
Sounder.
12, Cooley High. We have a Patreon for that. 11, Coming to America, iconic.
Mm-hmm.
10, Carmen Jones, the 1954 version. We have a podcast for that, I think.
Carmen Jones. It was a live or a podcast. I don't remember, but
because it was all jumbled up with, we did Carmen the hip opera with Beyonce.
Robert Townsend directed that.
And then we did Carmen the remake with Paul Mescal, and it's directed by Natalie Portman's husband. That movie was terrible.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're divorced now. Maybe that's why.
But
I think he cheated on her.
But number 10 is Carmen Jones. Number 9 is Sinners. I think that's,
Yeah, number 9. That's really high. Also, in the top 10, there are no Black women that are directing. What's the highest? What slot is what woman has the highest slot? Is it Selma? No, Yves Bayou.
Yves Bayou's above Selma, right?
Yeah, Yves Bayou is 36. I don't think, off the top of my head, looking at all of these, I don't think there are any other women above that.
Okay, so number 10, Carmen Jones. Number 9, Sinners. Number 8, Get Out.
Get Out's great.
Number 7, 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, sure.
Number 6, Claudine.
Claudine is excellent, yes.
Number 5, Moonlight.
Yeah.
Number 4, The Color Purple, the 1985 version.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Do the Right Thing. That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Black Panther. I mean, that very culturally relevant. And the number 1 film on the 100 best Black movies ever is Malcolm X, which we have a podcast or Patreon.
I don't remember.
We definitely reviewed Malcolm
X. Yeah. I can't, it's just crazy to think that Denzel lost to Al Pacino for Scent of a Woman, but that the Oscars, I don't know. I would probably reverse 1 and 3 off the top of my head, but I like
I think Do the Right Thing is a better move.
I mean,
because it's more efficient, and
yes,
but Malcolm X is an impressive film. I'm proud that I've seen most of these.
I've seen almost all of the. Well, I've probably seen at least 75%, if not more. Yeah.
Anyway, I think all of these are worth checking out. So this would be a good list for people to work off of.
Yeah, it's
of course we didn't mention all of them, but yeah.
The other Yuzan policy film is Sugarcane Alley, and that's one I haven't seen by her. I have been. One day we will have a podcast on A Dry White Season, because Marlon Brando's in. I think he's only in one scene and he got an Oscar nod, but it is a scene, let me tell you.
All right, moving on. More Black shit. 5 on the Black hand side.
Oh, yeah.
5 Black filmmakers who are not Tyler Perry. Who do we have first?
Oh, I got
D'Urville Martin.
D'Urville Martin. So he only directed 2 movies, and you know him more as an actor. You, Joseph specifically, probably are most familiar.
Your makeup is terrible. That's an Alaska
Thunder reference. But D'Urville Martin, you're probably you're familiar with him as Wesley Snipes played him in Dolomite Is My Name,
mm-hmm.
because D'Urville Martin directed the first Dolomite film. But of course played an elevator attendant in Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby. So he was an actor in many things. He directed another movie called Disco 9000 that I can't believe I haven't seen this, because it sounds like an amazing job. That Disco 9000. Anyway, he, at least according to Dolomite Is My Name, was not very happy with the making of that film. But hey, he got his directorial debut out of the way. But yeah, he's still a notable person, especially in 70s era Black film.
Who do we have next?
William Crain, who also is quite notable. He directed Blackula. And he is featured heavily in that documentary. Is it called Horror Noir?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he also did Dr. Black, Mr. Hyde, which you know what that's a take on. I have not seen that.
Next
we have, as I mentioned, Ron O'Neal, the star of Superfly, among many other films. He directed the first Superfly sequel, which I've never seen, which is crazy to me that I haven't seen this, but Superfly TNT, which I need to probably next week when I'll have more time. I need to see that. There's also a third sequel starring Samuel Jackson. Anyway, He directed one other film called Up Against the Wall, which Alex Haley of Roots fame at least worked on the screenplay. And that's got a stacked cast that includes Sally Richardson Whitfield, Ryan O'Neal, and Marla Gibbs. Next, we have Dream Hampton, someone a little more contemporary for y'all. But she directed thus far a documentary called It Was All a Dream, which is a visual memoir from her personal archives about the dawn of the golden era of hip hop. I have not seen that, but it sounds like something I'd like to. I have seen, I think she directed an episode. It's a 4-part series on Netflix called Ladies First, a story of women in hip hop, which is worth seeing, I think, at least as a starting point for what it is, as the title implies.
And last but certainly not least,
Tasha Smith, who y'all know from Why'd I Get Married and Why I Get Married
Angela's crazy ass,
and many other films. But she's worked a lot in television. But I know I brought this title up to you last week, and I put it on a list of things that I need to watch. And we have not watched it yet, but we need to. Her directorial debut is... it's a TV movie, but it's called When Love Kills, the Felicia Blakely Story.
That's right up my alley.
Which stars Lil Mama and Lance Gross.
Perfect.
And Tammy Roman.
Perfect. Oh, Tammy. Well, we forgot to mention on the movies we watched for fun last week on Patreon that we watched a Tammy Roman film called
Girl in the Closet.
Which I guess there are like a series of movies like Girl in the Basement, Girl in the Garage, Girl in the Chimney.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's no,
to be clear,
no closet in this movie.
To be clear, well, okay. First of all, this movie is called Girl in the Closet. There is no girl in the closet. She's actually in the basement.
Yeah,
but they already have a movie called The Girl in the Basement, so they couldn't call it that. Also, it's terrible.
Yes,
but I had a lot of fun.
I did too, and
I would watch all of those movies. And it stars Tammy Roman.
Well, the thing is, okay, so now we just saw Nobody 2 this evening at the recording of this. Tammy Roman is actually not far off from what Sharon Stone is doing in Nobody 2. Like,
no.
So Tammy Roman, if she was given a great script in a big budget thing, she
would serve.
Yeah, she would serve. Like,
but I was going to mention Tasha Smith's greatest role is as one of Janet Jackson's best friends. They travel together. Most recently, Tasha.
Oh, you're saying something sincere. Okay.
Yeah, she presented Janet Jackson with her Icon Award at the American Music Awards. So
she also got on Wendy Williams and said Tyler Perry's asexual.
I know. Listen, Tasha can't keep her mouth shut.
She's also a twin.
She's a twin. She's an acting coach. She directs a lot of TV.
She does.
She's very accomplished, very funny.
What was that movie? She plays her and her twin are in it as young girls. Remember you were.
Oh yeah, what I'm not gonna be able to conjure it, but
what were there were those two meathead twins that were in a bunch of movies.
Yes,
in the 80s.
That's right. It was like these two guys who were like muscle bound, and Tasha and her sister in it because there's a scene or there's a plot point where there's multiple sets of twins.
Oh, it's called. I think it's known by a couple titles, but the film we're referencing is called Twin Sitters. But the Barbarian brothers,
yes,
are the men that we're talking about, Peter Paul and David Paul, and they are distressing to look at, in my opinion. But they have a scene; they're twins, and they were in a bunch of movies.
Wait, what are they called? The Barbarian.
The Barbarian.
I recall them not. I recall them being attractive.
Oh, they give me the heebie-jeebies. I think I had a movie on called The Barbarians from 1987.
Oh, they look very 80s juiced up. Yeah,
like Fabio. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if Richard Grieco and Fabio were put into a test tube with a bullfrog. Yeah, they just look roided out.
They look like they might probably haven't aged well. I haven't looked at it. But anyway, I remember seeing Tasha Smith in that movie.
They look like if you try to draw blood, they would pop like a balloon.
Like a wood tick.
Okay, there isn't much in the restaurant section. We didn't try anything new this past week because it's only been a few days. Except we tried Eggo waffle ice cream.
Oh, trash.
Well, here's the thing. We should have known because we were looking through the, like the frozen novelty section of the grocery store and
dreaming our dreams.
And, I was eyeballing some Ben & Jerry's, but then quickly we saw that there was a section of ice cream flavored after popular breakfast cereals.
Uh-huh.
So they had Frosted Flakes, Fruity Pebbles,
Captain Crunch. Wait,
Fruit
no,
Loops.
Pop. What's that pop shit?
Yeah, whatever that Honey Smacks Corn Pops thing
Whatever
is.
that is,
They
yeah.
had Fruit Loops. And so you got the Eggo waffle one. And then after we tasted it and realized it was nasty, I thought, basing that ice cream is based on something that isn't real food either.
Exactly.
So then you're getting a derivative of something that isn't real. So it's going to be nasty. And you can, if you put that in a bowl and gave it to someone, I don't know that they would be able to tell you it's anything other than maybe maple syrupy.
Yeah.
I was not expecting there to be big chunks of waffle.
There were.
And they didn't taste right.
Well, I don't think I come from a home where my mother made homemade waffles, Belgian waffles, and let me tell you, Eggos taste nothing like that.
Eggos aren't they don't compete with fresh waffles. However, I like to eat my Eggo waffles with peanut butter and jelly. So they do serve a purpose, but yeah. To make an ice cream and then that ice, those frozen dairy desserts are not 100%. It's no salt and straw.
We were also buying, what was that shit we were buying? Your DiGiorno's, your
Di-Serono.
Your Di-Serono. So we had to talk to a person at the grocery store and go through a line.
Well, that's something else people could send me is Di-Serono.
I like self-checkout, but in California, you can't do that. You can't buy liquor in self-checkout. Anyway, the cashier got very excited to see our Lego My Eggo
excited. She was still moving slow.
She was moving slow, but she lit up. I was like, see, she is nice.
She was moving in slow motion until she saw that ice cream.
Well, we all have our different dangling carrots. But the problem with it was after the sweetness wears off, immediately, it tastes like chemicals. It had a chemical aftertaste.
Well, yes, I agree. And also, you already know it's not going to be real ice cream. So I think that also doesn't help that it just tastes like some sort of frozen dairy dessert.
Whoever's in charge of the new flavors at Salt and Straw, I'm sure they could develop.
Well, we've had I feel like we've had their waffle.
During the Thanksgiving season, during Scorpio season, they have that cinnamon biscuit one that I love.
I would ask for a Salt and Straw gift card, but that shit is dangerous.
I also like Jenny's ice cream in Larchmont or whatever that's called.
Moving on, films released we didn't cover.
There was a lot of shit coming out this week, and despite it being a truncated week because I'm headed out of town briefly, we actually got a lot done. But anyway, so there's a remake of Witchboard. The original was a 1986 film starring Tawny Katane, aka Little Brown Cat.
Brown Little Cat.
Brown Little Cat. And Chuck Russell directed it, who you might know from The Mask and one of those Nightmare on Elm Street movies, several other things. Anyway, I would love to see it. I did not get any emails from publicists on Witchboard, but apparently that's coming out this week.
Next.
Something called Americana.
Not the mall in Glendale.
No.
Glendale, free parking.
This is technically a 2023 release that is just getting a theatrical this week, directed by Tony Tost, that stars Halsey, Paul Walter Hauser, and our generation's Zara Leander, Sydney Sweeney, about something about a rare shirt. I don't know, but I didn't have the energy. East of Wall. And I think several people asked us if we were going to cover this, but
we didn't.
But we're not.
Spoiler, we didn't.
I actually got so many emails from the publicist on this one too, and I was like, I'm sorry. Directed by Kate Beecroft, and it's about a young woman who's a horse trainer, and her husband died, and Jennifer Ely and Scoot McNeary are in the periphery. And I've been told that it's kind of like Chloe Zhao's first film, The Rider. So those are good sounding things.
Next.
Okay, so Highest to Lowest is getting a very limited theatrical release this week. And we did get an invite to a press screening, but I still will press you to cover this when it is set to premiere a week later on Apple TV, because then I will have access to it. And it's a new Spike Lee film, so I feel like it's imperative that we do examine it, even though I already saw it at Cannes and had lots of questions about what's happening.
Well, good luck. Next.
Suspended Time. This I saw in Berlin. God, was it? What year is it? This would have been 2024, so well over a year ago. And I love Olivier Assayas, but this is like his COVID film that is basically a reenactment of what his own family went through, being holed up in some country family estate during COVID. And I thought this was so obnoxious and boring, and I hated it. And it does have some people that are singing its praises, but I strongly disliked it. I did not like it.
Next.
And then Went Up the Hill, which I also have I have a screener for this. We were supposed to watch it. We didn't make time, so I might watch it on my travels and try to write something, but it's a ghost story that sounds really interesting, starring Vicky Creeps.
Lastly.
That's it.
Oh, wait. You went over Suspended?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's the ACS COVID film.
Well, projects of interest.
Okay, so S.S. Rajamouli, who I believe we have a review for his breakout film RRR.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a new film that he's making, and it's going to be called one of those two things, Maharaj or Garuda. I guess I can't remember now which one he's leaning towards, and it could change altogether. But apparently, Priyanka Chopra stars in the film, and she's been shooting it for over 6 months. But it's something crazy. Like it's still got a lot of filming to do, but he wants to release it as 2 3-hour movies. 6 hours.
No, thank you.
But you know that anticipation is going to be hot for that, so we probably will.
Hot.
I mean, you and I weren't the biggest fans of RRR. I think it's silly fun. I think I was annoyed at how over the top the praise was for it.
I don't remember what I thought, so people can watch the review if they care.
Okay. Well,
unfortunately, there is an entry in the obituary section. Dr. Danielle Spencer died. People would know her as Little D from the sitcom What's Happening? And then she also had a role in the series sequel What's Happening Now. And then we talked about What's Happening because it's kind of a spinoff of Cooley High. But I remember watching reruns of What's Happening, which is funny because there's a character named Rerun. But I very well remember Lil D, and she has had a very impressive life because she, after having having that role on What's Happening, she ended up going to college at UCLA, and then she got her doctorate of veterinary medicine from Tuskegee. So she was a veterinarian. That's where her doctor comes from. Oh. But she also has some significant health issues because she was diagnosed with breast cancer like over 10 years ago. And then like 7 years ago, she had surgery to relieve like bleeding in her brain. And then ultimately this like yesterday well, technically I guess it's still today. Today being August 11th, spoiler, that's when we're recording this. Mm-hmm. She died from stomach cancer, and she was only 60 years old.
Yeah, that's
but what a remarkable life, and to be to just be a part of such an iconic show, and then to go on and get this education and have this profession, and then also battle these illnesses, and she seems very like remarkable.
She apparently has a small role as a veterinarian in As Good as It Gets. I haven't watched that since that year it came out.
I would consider rewatching it only for her, actually.
I remember really liking that film, but I wonder how I would feel as an adult. But then now we know to look out for her in that.
The secret film this week was my choice. And I chose the 2021 American action thriller film Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, yes.
Why did I choose this film? So this is a Freaky Friday situation because we are seeing Nobody 2 tomorrow which is Tuesday.
Yes.
So we're recording this portion of the podcast well before Sunday. So I haven't seen Nobody 2 yet, but by the time this podcast airs, we will have already published our Nobody 2 review.
That's true. You had no idea what it was when I sent you the press invite. You're like, Nobody 2?
Right. I don't know nobody. So I don't know. What is your relationship to this movie?
It was the last. Okay, so I don't know why we didn't cover this in 2021 when it came out, but probably it was timing. But it was the last film. It was also probably the last Redbox rental I ever did that we watched as we were moving out of our house in Hawthorne at the end of 2021. And I remember quite liking it. It's directed by Ilya Naishuller, who is Russian, I believe. And his first film was Hardcore Henry, which has a lot of fans, which is like first person perspective, all action. It's an impressively choreographed film for sure, which I remember seeing at TIFF. And we reviewed his last film, which was an Amazon Prime release, last month, Heads of State, with Idris Elba and John Cena, which I hated.
Oh, this director did that film?
Yeah, and I remember in our review, because you hadn't seen Nobody, but I remember expressing that I was kind of shocked that this was what he did after Nobody, because of course he didn't direct the sequel.
So obviously I had not seen Nobody. I didn't even know this was a thing, which is why I was shocked when you sent me the screening information for Nobody 2. Okay, what is Nobody about? A docile family man slowly reveals his true character after his house gets burgled by two petty thieves, which coincidentally leads him into a bloody war with a Russian crime boss. That's the full movie.
It is. It's actually a very simple film.
It's written by the person who wrote
John Wick.
So
the bones of it are extremely similar. Derek Kolstad is that screenwriter's name.
I wrote down, I thought this, after watching it, this felt like if you mix John Wick with Falling Down, that Michael Douglas film.
Sure. All of those films about ex-assassins that have to reclaim that identity, whether it's because of amnesia and Long Kiss Goodnight or...
Well, I picked Falling Down because of just a person being frustrated. Because I think that's part of what drives...
What I think he has a line in there about something in him has been reawakened.
Bob Odenkirk,
yes,
whose character's name is Hutch. And then I also thought it felt like Home Alone, because the final act of the film is Hutch having booby-trapped a warehouse. But so yeah, Bob Odenkirk plays Hutch, and he's this like meek family man. He has a wife played by Connie Nielsen and two kids. They live in like a nice little suburban house. He has a job working in some sort of like manufacturing plant that's owned by his father-in-law and his brother-in-law.
And the father-in-law is played by an incredibly notable cult actor, Michael Ironside, who you should remember from Total Recall.
And he's not very respected, it seems, by anyone.
Right. So
one night, I mean, the first like 15 minutes of the film is really hitting home that like his life is mundane, repetitive, that maybe, you know, as people might say, his wife wears the pants in the relationship.
And he just can't seem to get it together, which I think is why we get the not being able to get up on time to put the garbage out kind of thing.
Right. But one night, two petty thieves break into the house, and Hutch, Bob Odenkirk's character, kind of doesn't really defend his family. He kind of freezes. But, so he freezes. The people get away with like a watch and a little bit of cash and his daughter's bracelet. So then, of course, everyone learns about it and everyone's kind of making fun of him. Like, damn, you didn't do shit. Like, you didn't even punch anyone.
You didn't even swing your golf club.
Right. But we see that he gets upset at the thought of like his daughter's bracelet being stolen. And so he goes to find out who did it. And he ends up at a tattoo parlor. And he's acting kind of loose and crazy when one of the people in this tattoo parlor recognizes a tattoo on Hutch's wrist and gets scared. Like, I'm gonna leave you alone. You take care. And then we see that man like lock himself out of the room with like 20 locks.
Well, he says, thank you for your service.
So then it's very clear that Bob Odenkirk's character is not who we think he is.
Mm-hmm.
So then he goes and finds the person who he was looking for, beats them up pretty badly, but they don't have the daughter's bracelet, which is an important fact that I think is kind of funny.
Well, he punches the guy, the woman he does, because it's a couple, and he hears a baby crying that's on an oxygen tank, and he kind of deduces, I think, that they were burgling out of desperation.
Yeah, so he kind of spares the man. But on his way home on the bus, because we see he rides the bus everywhere, a group of hoodlums get on the bus and terrorize the other passengers, which there are only like 2 other people. And Hutch tells the bus driver, you go on ahead and get off, I'll take care of it. And then we get a really fun fight sequence where he damn near kills all of those men.
I think I liked the bus fight sequence more than almost anything in the John Wick series, really.
For sure my favorite scene of this movie is the bus scene.
Yeah.
But I will say, I should have started by saying I did enjoy this film, and there are quite a few memorable moments. And I'm not familiar with Bob Odenkirk.
Well, you or I have never seen Better Call Saul.
Oh.
Which is kind of a major calling card for Mr. Odenkirk.
Well, I liked him.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, one of those hoodlums is the brother of a Russian mob boss named Yulian.
Did you recognize Yulian?
No.
Alexei Serebryakov, who was...
is he from that Kevin James movie?
Honora.
Oh, no.
He's...
I was thinking Guns Up.
No, Mikey Madison. He's Mikey Madison's would-be in-law.
Oh.
The Russian parents that show up.
Yeah, that's the dad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fun.
He's also in Andrei Zhivig. I always butcher his last name, but Andrei Zvyagintsev Leviathan, which is an excellent film.
So now Hutch is in real trouble. And Yulian finds out who Hutch is quite easily. And that's when, as the audience, we learn that he worked for the feds, is basically like an assassin. He says that he's an auditor. Like he's kind of like the person who comes in and cleans up everything.
You mean like a beekeeper?
Yeah, exactly like a beekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And the final act of the film is Yulian sending all his people to go get Hutch. But of course, Hutch kills them all with the help of his brother, played by RZA, and his dad, played by Christopher Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to know his dad is like an ex-FBI agent. So yeah, the final scene is the site of Hutch's job. He has booby-trapped. And so it's just one big takedown.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this film was a lot of fun.
I agree.
If you compare it to John Wick, this feels more lively. I think Bob Odenkirk is a lot more dynamic than Keanu Reeves' character.
Yeah.
But I think Keanu Reeves works very well in the John Wick movies, and it's doing what it does. So it's a very different kind of movie. I think for my taste, I prefer Nobody.
Yeah, sure.
Because there's more humor and a little more humanity.
There's more characterization for sure.
Yeah, and it isn't nonstop fighting.
Yeah, there's a little bit. The plot is very basic.
Yeah.
It's incredibly straightforward. But again, I think it goes to show you can do a lot with just a little. And I think some, expert fight choreography, that's a lot of fun. This is like... if you think about the era of Charles Bronson films, this is that on steroids a little bit.
Sure. So another moment in the film that I thought was really good that I didn't mention is that Yulian,
mm-hmm.
he runs something called the Ob Shack.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically all of these like local mob bosses, basically the Ob Shack is where they keep all their money. Mm-hmm. And someone has to protect the Ob Shack.
Well, and it's basically to deal with any kind of issues that come up. It's like paying an association, kind of.
Or like putting your money in escrow or something.
Like for what, if we need something big, we got to pay for it and it affects all of us. Here it is.
So it's a big responsibility to secure the object, and it's clear that Julian does not like doing that. It's a lot of pressure because you have all these mob bosses with you're holding their money and they expect you to keep it secure.
Mm-hmm.
So once Hutch is in full action mode, and he is mad because Julian sends his people to Hutch's home.
And they find him because he leaves his Metro card behind
And
after the bus incident.
I did think I was a little disappointed in how easy Julian finds Hutch, because he has some lady who does tech stuff. She looks up his Metro card, finds his name, and says, oh, he's a really like mild-mannered dad. I don't think it's him. And Julian goes, no, those are the kind of people you need to
watch out for,
be suspicious of. And she goes, well, I know someone who works for the FBI. I can ask him. And then she sends this person at the FBI or at the Pentagon a message like, if you don't tell me who Hutch Adams or whatever his name is, I'm going to send your family pictures of you in BDSM gear or something. And so the Pentagon guy looks up Hutch's name and it says access denied. So he's like, what? Wait a minute. And then we see this man go into the bowels of the Pentagon with a flashlight and pull Hutch's file. I thought that was kind of silly in like a lazy way.
Hutch. That name keeps reminding. I think there's Mia Farrow as Rosemary and Rosemary's Baby. That's her little friend's name.
I kept thinking of Will Smith as Hitch.
Oh, okay.
But
which makes me think of an allergic reaction, that film.
But Julian goes to Hutch's home.
Mm-hmm. Big mistake
because
Hutch loses it.
He loses it. And he's like, okay, you want to play games? Because ultimately he tells Julian, you're not supposed to do that. Like that's against the code of
the rules of engagement
of all this bullshit we're all on. Now, you know good and goddamn well you're not supposed to come to my house and terrorize my family.
That's like the Intercontinental. It's off limits.
Yeah, so it does parallel that concept. I get, which I guess would be a common concept in these kind of like organized crime, outfit, whatever.
Dare I say a trope?
Yes, but I thought another really fun scene is Hutch goes to the site of the Ob Shack where there's like hundreds of millions of dollars, and Hutch kills all those people and burns up all that money.
Ooh, that kind of hurt to see.
Oh, it was fun. Then Julian likes to do karaoke. So then we see that Hutch shows up at the karaoke bar and is eating dinner when Julian sees him and stops the show, tells him, you have a lot of nerve coming here like this. And Hutch is strapped like he has a bomb on his ass.
That's a claymore mine is what that's called.
So Julian says, okay, everyone clear the room. We're going to talk. And Hutch tells him what he did. He tells him what he did, which is burn up all the money. Mm-hmm. Julian loses it. But Hutch does that because he's trying to lure Julian and all his people to his job site, which he has booby-trapped.
Well, first, before he does that, he purchased it from his father-in-law and tells them to take a hike.
Yeah, we need to talk about the purchasing and where that money came from and the marriage, because I have thoughts. But another thing that kind of was confusing to me is so Riza is Hutch's brother, and we only initially hear Riza. They communicate in secret via like an old radio.
Uh-huh.
But you can tell it's Riza.
But I know, but at first I was like, is this like in Big Mouth where he's talking to a ghost?
I thought it was like Charlie's Angels.
Of an old singer.
I thought he was talking to Charlie.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then we also know that Christopher Lloyd is his dad and that Christopher Lloyd is FBI and that he lives in a nursing home. Mm-hmm. And Hutch actually calls his dad and says, hey, remember that thing I was telling you about? Well, shit went left, so you know what to do. Stay ready. So we see the bad guys, the Russians, go to Christopher Lloyd, but he kills both of them. Mm-hmm. But the thing that was confusing to me is Hutch has booby-trapped his workplace. Mm-hmm. But then Riza and Christopher Lloyd show up.
They are there. Mm-hmm.
Like unannounced. Like Hutch doesn't know that they're going to come help him. In fact, Riza told Hutch, I'm not going to help your white ass because I told you not to do dumb shit like this. So what I was confused by is they show up, but this building is booby-trapped. I feel like that felt kind of crazy that Hutch wouldn't tell them like, y'all need to stay right here because this building is hot. Like, I didn't love that. I did think that the sequence of all the bad guys being killed was fun.
It's fun, but yeah, like logistically, I guess they're trained in what they do. Which would be
Well,
looking
I
out
was
for
trying to
shit.
give it grace, and that's what I was thinking, that they probably, all three of them do similar stuff, and so they would know the tricks that they pull. But let's talk about
But some of those tricks are there's the pen taped to the stairs.
the pin. Then there were those mouse traps that like had bullets in them.
Yeah,
and
I
I
mean-
don't know. I just felt like this feels real loose and crazy in here. But Bob Odenkirk and Connie Nielsen, their marriage, I'm a little confused because it seems, because that first night when he damn near kills everyone on the bus, he's beat up pretty badly and he's been stabbed in the abdomen.
Yeah, he was shanked.
So he comes home and Connie Nielsen is sitting downstairs like, where have you been all night?
Mm-hmm.
And he comes from the shadows and she sees he's hurt. And she patches him up like, we've done this before.
Yeah, she knows about it, but it's like, why do you treat him like this emasculated henpecked nothing then at home? And stop telling me about the garbage and tell one of those goddamn kids to get up and put the garbage out.
That bothered me. Because I feel like if she knows what he used to be and what he's capable of, first of all, you might want to leave me the hell alone. But also, it's like I'm obviously turned a new leaf so that we could have a normal life.
Exactly. And we have a 1-car household. You get the car. You're the breadwinner. I work with your shitty dad. Tell that teenage boy to get up and put the garbage out.
Then they have a moment where he's like, we don't, like clearly things have changed. We're not close. We don't kiss. We don't have sex. We don't make love. We don't even like being around each other. And I don't know. I feel like I needed a little bit more because it was interesting.
They needed almost to have kind of like a True Lies reunion, which I'm not sure if you remember how Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger have the stagnant marriage, and he tries to revive it because he's, a
super spy,
espionage, and they do that made up thing with Jamie Lee Curtis, but then she ends up getting roped in for real.
Yeah.
And it reignites their marriage and they're bonding and they have this exciting new horizon to embark on together. It's because Connie Nielsen really doesn't get anything to do in this.
I was actually thinking that it was going to be like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Or that she had a past too. Like she used to do some.
Well, the way she tended to his wounds and she was cool as a cucumber, I thought, they were both in this shit.
Right.
But then when the bad guys show up at his house, he has like a secret lair in the basement. And the way she reacts was very odd. I couldn't tell if she knew that was there or that she was just trusting him. But then he locks her in the basement, then he goes and burns up the ob shack. When he comes back, he lets him out of the basement and then tells him, you need to get in the car, pack up your shit and go somewhere safe. Mm-hmm. And then she's acting like, well, what's going on? So then I got really confused. Like, why? Because he tells her, well, I'll be honest with you once it's all said and done. Mm-hmm. Like, no more lies. But then if you knew that I was an assassin and we've been through this, mm-hmm. then I feel like this should be a very easy conversation.
I agree. And another scene that I'm not crazy about, I get it, again, it's fine. And I'm entertained enough by this film to kind of make concessions for some of the odd moments. And I think Odenkirk sells it, is that chunk of exposition amongst the dead corpses where we really learn about his background.
Okay. I actually thought that was funny because he does it twice. Mm-hmm. And so basically, what I took from it is Hutch, the character, maybe shares too much because mm-hmm. he does it with Yulian's main, like his right-hand man, this black Russian guy, mm-hmm. where he's basically telling, like you already mentioned, the 4 bad guys, and also in a separate scene, the black Russian guy, like who he is. Mm-hmm. I'm an auditor. I work for the feds. And then when the camera pans back to the bad guy, they're dead. Mm-hmm. I thought that was funny because I assume that Hutch is known for being kind of long-winded and dry. It's so that he bores people to death. So to me, I took it as a joke, but
sure. But I think it would have felt more funny if it had been, I know it pops up twice, but double down a little bit more. Like every time he kills somebody, this is like I'm blah, blah, from the Clan MacLeod from Highlander, like just this thing that I have to say every time I do something.
Well, actually, yeah, that probably would have been more funny if every time he takes down some people, he feels like sharing.
Or like in Princess Bride when Manny Patinkin's like, I'm Inigo Montoya. I'm prepared to die.
But I think, like you said, Bob Odenkirk, like I think he's cute in this role. So I did enjoy watching him.
He seems like a good dad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. He's very disarming.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's like this, super killer is very entertaining to me. Okay, I'm just going to start going through my notes.
Mm-hmm.
So those hoodlums who hop on the bus, they're driving drunk in a Hummer and they smash into like the bus is at like a stoplight, and then those idiots in the Hummer like crash into like a construction site.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't even hit the bus, but then they get out and they have like wine bottles and they're clearly like obliterated. And then they start tapping on the bus windows, and then they go to the bus door. And what does the bus driver's dumbass do? Let them in.
Yeah, she should have just driven off.
While that is my favorite scene, I was so irritated when she let them on the bus. Why would you let them on the bus?
Well,
why would you let them on the
and
bus?
Odenkirk is praying for her to do so.
That was funny. That was funny.
He did most of his own stunts.
Yeah, I read that he trained for quite some time in like boxing, judo, jiu-jitsu, and he worked with the stunt team to do a lot of his stunts. And also that Christopher Lloyd, who was 82, also did a lot of those scenes himself where he's like shooting that shotgun. I mean, to be fair, they're not like action packed, but it is him, so that's pretty cool.
Lloyd's in the sequel too.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. And I'm assuming RZA is as well.
Yes, and Sharon Stone.
Oh, I wonder if Connie Nielsen is.
Connie's in it too. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I believe. And I guess that I don't know anything about cards. I don't like gambling. I don't like losing money so easily without anything to be seen for it. But apparently that's like the worst hand you can get in Texas Hold'em. It's a 7 of spades and a 2 of diamonds.
Oh, and that's what's tattooed on his wrist. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so when we meet Julian, he's at the bar, like karaoke bar, and it's immediately the first time we see him, he crosses the street, like like in the middle of traffic. So you automatically know he's like an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And he does his karaoke, which is kind of corny, and then he goes upstairs to greet all of the like other mob bosses. And one of them is like, well, how do we know that our money's secure with you? And we already heard Julian say like, oh, I hate doing this obshack shit. And then they're kind of like questioning like, who's this black guy? And he's like, well, he's Russian. He's just as Russian as you are. And they're like, well, forget about all that. Like, how do we know our money's safe with you? And Julian walks over to some random man and scars up his face with a broken like martini glass and kills him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out that guy has like 3% of like the money in the obshack. And then everyone else is like, oh, well, I guess now it's spread amongst us. I don't know. I didn't love that scene. I know it's supposed to show that he's kind of ruthless.
Vicious.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm sure people won't agree, but he was very unlikable, which is, the point, I think, sometimes of the villain. Like, that's easy, but he was a little too vile for me. But so after that scene, Julian's told that his brother and some of his other like friends were badly injured on a bus by some rando guy. Mm-hmm. So Julian goes to the hospital and is screaming like, tell me who this person was. And he throws a chair at one of the guys in the hospital bed. I thought that was funny. But like we mentioned, they're able to find Hutch via his Metro card. And then they do end up, because they go to Hutch's house, but Hutch is able to secure his family in that secure basement. But they do end up subduing Hutch, and they throw him in the trunk of this old 7 Series BMW. And I thought it was so weird. Hutch is in the trunk trying to figure out how to get out. And he opens like a side panel where you would normally find like the first aid kit or the tire, like the jack.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he pull out of there? A full-size fire extinguisher. I thought that was crazy.
Hey, it gets him out.
Yeah. I did like the scene that you mentioned with the 4 guys and he's explaining what he did. But we also learn in that scene that he has a bunch of money in the house, like a bunch of straight up cash and gold bars, which he takes. And then he tells the 4 bad guys, like, you know, in order to burn bones to dust requires temperatures in excess of 1500 degrees. And this basement is designed to do double that. And then we see him burn down his house. And then all the neighbors come out and like look. I also kind of didn't love that. Like, how is he? I mean, I guess he has anonymity.
Yeah, I think that if you've had that experience, that kind of life, that would be what's most important is to fly under the radar.
So then I thought it was weird that he sort of very openly burned down his house and all the neighbors are watching. And then he breaks into his neighbor's car, steals that car. And
the Challenger?
Away. Yeah. So
well, it's kind of, I think at that point it's scorched earth. Like they can't go back.
Well, based on what happens at the end, which we'll mention, then I figured, well, maybe Hutch knows that he's going to be able to get out of any predicament.
Yeah.
That the feds will cover him. But Hutch takes some of those gold bars and buys the business from his dad and his brother-in-law. But earlier in the film, he had asked to buy it and they said, no.
He didn't, there wasn't enough of a honeypot there.
Yeah, your offer is kind of low and like we didn't spend our entire lives building this business and just sell it to you.
This super impressive business.
Do we even learn what the business is?
Like metal fabricating or something?
But then he shows up with what looks like $1 million in gold. I don't know how much gold bars are worth, but whatever it is, the dad is super impressed. But the brother's like, no, and the dad tells him to shut up. And I did like that Hutch punches his brother-in-law. Because the brother-in-law is kind of a bully. I also wanted to mention that I like the soundtrack of this movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, the shooting chase sequence in the Challenger to Pat Benatar's Heartbreaker, I think is quite good.
I like the song The Impossible Dream. And in this movie, it's sung by Andy Williams. But if people haven't heard it, Jennifer Hudson did a segment of this song on, I believe it was what's the show, like the singing competition show where the judges hit the button and their chairs turn around?
Oh, I don't know.
Whatever that show is.
And then of course it opens and closes with Nina Simone, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, which is funny because I just watched a Locarno film starring Willem Dafoe and he is talking that at the end.
They also have You'll Never Walk Alone, which is a song I really like. And for people who haven't heard it, Patti LaBelle did that song once with a full choir. That's pretty amazing. So I think Christopher Lloyd is cute when those bad guys show up at his nursing home. And then we hear shotguns blast and the nursing aide on staff like overnights is like, what the hell is that? And he runs into Christopher Lloyd's room and he's like, you need to turn that TV down.
Yeah, it couldn't possibly be.
It couldn't possibly be actual bullets.
Manslaughter, yeah.
There are a lot of cute moments when we get into the booby-trapped warehouse building worksite. The camera highlights a safety first sign. Well,
and then like however many days without an accident.
Yeah, there's a sign that says it's been 204 days since our last accident, and you see Hutch like erase it because clearly we have a problem.
The cinematographer was Pavel Pogorzelski, who shoots Ari Aster's films. And also The Woman in the Yard recently. So
I like how this film looked.
I do too.
So Julian is like the final person to be killed, obviously. And Hutch is trying to figure out how to do it. So he takes that bomb he had, whatever you called it, a clay bomb or
Claiborne mine.
And Christopher Lloyd's like, what are you going to do with that? And Hutch goes, everybody dies, some sooner than others. And Christopher Lloyd and RZA look at him like, WTF. But then the way Hutch does it, he's like standing behind a shield,
Mhm.
so it only kills.
That's
Julian.
a good. I like how that looked too. Very effective.
So that isn't the final scene. So then after Julian's killed, then we see Hutch get brought down to the police station, and there are two investigators questioning him. And that is actually the opening of the film. Hutch has, because we saw that earlier in the film, there was some lady who heard a noise in the ceiling, and it turns out to be like a kitten.
Yeah.
A tawny kitten. And
A brown little kitten.
a brown little kitten. And
oh, that almost looked like a Siamese cat kitten.
well, Hutch rescued it after he killed everyone. So he shows up to the interrogation with the little kitten and a can of tuna.
Mhm.
So he opens up the can and lets the kitten eat it. But the investigators are like, you need to tell us what happened and who you are. And Hutch says, I'm nobody.
Mhm.
That's all you need to know. And you can tell the detectives are about to get into his ass when all of a sudden both of their phones ring. And we don't hear what's said, but it's very clear that the people on the other line are telling them, you better let this man go and forget this ever happened. And then we cut to 3 months later, and Hutch and his wife are house hunting because, he burned down their house. And as they're looking around, the realtor's phone rings and she hands it to Hutch. And it's obvious that we don't hear what's said, but I think it's obvious that he's been asked to like do another job.
Or that something's coming.
Or that something's happening. And so the wife says, does this house have a basement? And then there's a mid-credit scene where Christopher Lloyd and RZA are traveling in a camper with a bunch of weapons across the border. So I think this is all being set up for like a sequel, which we know is coming. And, this is quite the trajectory because I went from having never heard of Nobody to actually quite enjoying it. And I think Nobody 2, mark my words from the future past, that I'm hoping that Nobody 2 is good.
I am too. I think I have high hopes for it, actually.
What would you give Nobody?
3.5.
Yeah, I think it's very good, actually. I would give it 3.5 out of 5. All right. So what do we have for next week? Is there anything coming next week?
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh yeah, because I know we're watching Splitsville. We're watching Honey Don't.
We have a review for Relay.
That's right.
Eden.
Okay.
So the new Ron Howard. So yeah, there's many things. I guess we're skipping Nija too.
Yeah.
Even though I'm very curious about that now.
Well, I mean, where would we watch? Is it a screener or a screening?
It's a screening.
Ugh. Well, maybe we'll see.
I don't know, but I mean the highest grossing animated film of all time. Like God,
maybe.
And some of the stills look really good.
Okay.
Even the poster.
Well, we can if it works into the schedule.
If it does, yeah. I don't know if it will, but
and then you're reading a book that you told me about. This sounds interesting.
The Axe. I brought it up in last week's podcast. The new it's 1997 Donald Westlake film or book because Park Chan-wook's new movie is an adaptation of it, which is of course Korean.
I guess I didn't catch that.
But there's also a 90 there. God, what year? Costa Gavras also adapted it. I forget what year, maybe like somewhere in the 2000s that I need to watch. But yeah, it's really interesting because the way this character, it's about this middle manager from corporate America that has a very specific expertise that has been laid off and has been unable to find work for 2 years. And so there's a job that he knows he would be well qualified for in his local commuting area. And in order to better his chances, he creates a fake ad and collects a bunch of resumes from other people that have the same experience so he can find out who they are and kill them.
I've been seeing a lot of posts about Emma Stone shaving her head.
I saw Jennifer Lawrence said something about that.
But I don't understand. The pictures they're showing are of her with a pixie cut. That's not shaving your head. So I don't know if
you need to talk to Sigourney Weaver.
I'm missing something because having a pixie cut is not like, that's not shaving your head.
No, it's not. So you
still have forehead coverage. You're still covering the scars from your facelift. Like you still get all that from the pixie cut. So unless you take clippers without a guard to your head, you did not shave your head.
You talked to Sigourney Weaver. You talked to Demi Moore for G.I. Jane.
But I don't know. Am I missing something? Like, is there a role she just shaved her head for? Or are they talking about her like long pixie? Because to me, that's like.
They're talking about it for Begonia, which I'm about to see in Venice. But I mean, I guess maybe I haven't seen. Maybe she is in the film. I don't know. Maybe with the pictures you're seeing, maybe that's the growth since filming. I don't know.
Oh,
who knows? So
apparently she did shave off all of her hair for Begonia.
Okay. Well, great.
Okay. So they're just, so maybe that's why we're seeing her with this little pixie, because it's growing out. We just haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah. Okay, girl. How much money do you make?
Whatever. I just felt like I needed to comment because I just keep seeing all these posts and it's like, but she has a pixie. What are we talking about?
When David Fincher told Sigourney for Alien 3 that she wanted her to shave her head, she's like, okay, well, I'm going to ask for more money.
Well, yeah, because that's also going to affect my work. Like I'm going to have to wait months before I have any hair, or like the inconvenience of having to wear a wig. But anyway, I'll shut my mouth because I don't know. I didn't realize that she actually buzzed her head. I also don't think having a buzzed head is so brave. Like,
I don't know.
Hair grows back.
The shit that people...
And most of y'all don't do shit with the hair you have anyway, so who cares if you have it or not?
The shit that people come up to me and say sometimes is unreal. Like, what year is it? Have you not seen any bald person ever? Okay.
Wow. I think hair is important to a lot of people. And
sure.
I think, as a professional, I think it's a little dangerous to be so invested in your hair.
Well, it really does define you, because my bald head kind of visually defines me, even when I've learned to not even really think about it. But
I also understand, like, there are a lot of insecurities wrapped up in having or not having hair, right? Because a lot of people, losing your hair is obviously can be traumatic.
It is.
But I think for some people, having hair is almost like a mask, and they feel naked without it.
Just look at Jason Momoa right now.
So and then for men, having facial hair there are men who, if they accidentally mess up with like trimming their beard, they are like greatly affected. And I can't lie. This probably would never happen because I don't ever take a razor to my face. But like, if I had to be clean shaven, I think I'd feel pretty insecure.
But you know what? It grows back.
Yeah, it does. But it's like when you're not used to seeing yourself a certain way, or you feel like you don't look your best. Everyone can relate to that.
You can.
So I'm not being insensitive to that.
Of course,
part.
But it's
just like when you're getting paid millions of dollars to be in a role playing a character who's not you. I don't know how brave that is, but
exactly.
But I don't know. Maybe she has an ugly shaped head, and so it is brave for her to shave it off.
Well, they can shellac whatever they want on it. Then
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
Ta-ta.